Good morning, everybody. It's WeVideo Wednesday here at ChromeWorks COVID Computer Camp. And as always, every Wednesday we do a little video editing lesson using WeVideo, which is the world's biggest online video editing program. It's a really cool piece of software, and I'm giving it to you guys for free, thanks to a deal that we have with WeVideo. WeVideo is basically giving this deal to every teacher out there, letting them give their students free broadcasts, but so during this COVID crisis, so that you guys can do something productive while you're at home. And making movies is a fantastic way to stay productive. So today we're going to be doing a little lesson on screencasting. Here's my lessons page, and you can see that I give a little introduction here. If you're ever wondering what we're doing, you can go to chromeworks.ca/lessons and find out what tomorrow's lesson is going to be about. So screencasting means taking your video, taking what you're doing on the screen at any particular time and doing a videotape of that. So you're taping yourself doing something. You can also record your face at the same time. And the cool thing about that is you can use it to make little instructional videos. I'm hoping to recruit you guys to make some cool Scratch instructional videos for me, just little short ones, less than 5 minutes. It's a new project I've created called Stupid Scratch Tricks. I want to show the world some cool stuff that we can do in Scratch, and I want you guys to help me with the instructions. So let's get started with that. We'll go over to our WeVideo screen. So remember, you can log into WeVideo just by getting the registration code from my website. I'm going to paste it into the chat here for those of you watching on YouTube. Well, on the live YouTube broadcast, you're not going to be able to see this if you watch it after the fact. Okay, anyway, I'll probably flash it on the screen during the edited version as well. So, all right, we're going to, so I'm going to teach you guys how to make a little instructional video. I've already taken the liberty of creating a little intro for you guys, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. It is just a few seconds long, and so every video that we make... Hi, Maya. Maya just sent me a little message. I want to say hi back to her. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to hit play. And that's all it is. It's just 2 or 3 seconds long, and it's just a little beginning. So when you guys make a little movie, for me, you're going to be doing the same thing. Let me show you how to get to where we're going. So whenever we start with WeVideo, usually you want to start working within a project. Now, when you go new video, it will give you the option for a project, but the easier way to do it is to go to this Projects tab at the top of the screen here, Projects. So if we click there, it'll give us a list of all the projects that are available to you. Your own projects will be here, and then under Shared with Me, you'll be able to see the ones that I shared. I'm your teacher inside this WeVideo classroom, and so you'll be able to see any projects that I've assigned you. Now, my projects are actually the ones that are shared, so I have to go back to my projects. But you should go to that Share tab and find the one that says Stupid Video Tricks right here. There we go. And in here, there's a couple of different videos. There's one little video that just is the actual raw footage that I used to make this. So I've got a couple of text effects. If you were interested in seeing how I made this, it's just a bunch of different layers of video. We've got one layer at the top here with the Scratch logo. Sorry, that's in video 2 here. And then up above that, we have text. We have 2 different text elements. One is stupid and the other one's tricks. And you can see how they're all kind of staggered, so that one starts first and then the other one and then the other one, and it goes in a row. And underneath we have that kind of circusy music that fades in and then fades out again at the end. And everything comes to everything fades out at the end, and then we're ready. And so we can just attach our video to that. Now, how do you get this actual finished footage? I've rendered this all out into a movie that you can see when you start your project. I'll show you again. So let's go back to our projects page. I'm going to go inside Stupid Scratch Tricks, and then I'm going to click on the little plus button down at the bottom right here, New Edit. And there it'll ask you, what do you want to do? You can use a template if you want to, but of course none of these are really useful. The Chromeworks broadcast one is the credits that I use on the beginning and the end of this of my edited live streams. You can feel free to use this for your own stuff. If you're submitting it to me as well, you can put the Chromeworks brand on anything that you're gonna do as a video, but I'd rather for these 5-minute projects that you work within a blank file. So let's start a blank file. We're gonna click on the start button. And from there, we can go to My Media, which is this button way up at the top. So there's these 5 buttons along the top here that show the various parts of WeVideo, the different kinds of things that you can insert into your video. You've got your stock media, which is all your clip art and music and sound effects. This second one called My Media is the one we're particularly interested in. That's where we can add our own stuff to it. You can upload files or record your own if you're interested, and that works great. And there's some other ones for transitions and backgrounds and stuff. We might be using 1 or 2 of those before as well. So I'm looking for that little WeVideo intro. If I go over to My Media, I can see a couple of things here. What you should do is go into Project Media, which is right over here. And from there, you should be able to find the little intro. Now, it's not there for me because it's actually my thing. It's not something I shared. But if you click on Project Media, you should be able to find an element here called, here it is, Stupid Scratch Tricks Intro. So I can drag this into the beginning of my movie. You see it's only 1 layer now because I've rendered it out as a video. And now I can record. And now we can record my my own contribution to the video, the scratch part, right? So I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. Okay, guys, so we're ready to start recording our own video. Now I already have a scratch screen set up. I'll show that to you right now, and then I'll show you how to start recording. So for those of you who are interested in how I put this together, how I put this broadcast together, I've got Google Chrome open on one of my monitors, and there's a bunch of tabs open, and I can switch back and forth between them using command keys. So the first tab, let me show you my browser here. So the first tab is WeVideo, the second one is Scratch, and then I've got some other stuff up here as well. Let me maximize again. So I don't want to unmaximize my screen because that doesn't look very good, so I can switch back and forth by holding down the control button and then hitting the number of the tab that I want to get to. So if I want to jump to Scratch, I can go Control 2, and that'll bring me over to my project. So I've made a fun little project here. Let me show it to you guys. Click the green flag. There's no music on it, but basically it's just Scratch saying random stuff to you. So every time that you click on him, he will say stuff using text-to-speech. So he'll actually talk, and he'll do a voice bubble at the same time. And I've done some cool code to make that work. Let's try it out.
A lot more people are visiting me now that sports have stopped.
Okay, I spelled that wrong. Let's try another one.
Man, it's been 3 years since I blinked.
That's a funny one. I tried to make them a little bit funny.
My name's Scratch. What's yours? Scratch is the name, dancing is my game. So, how was your day?
Anyway, I think I have about 25 things that I typed into it, and I think I'll actually be showing you guys a little instructional video that I recorded on how to make this, so you can get a sense of how I did it. So this is the finished project. It's not very long at all, and that's the idea. We want to do something that you can teach in 5 minutes. So this one only has about 8 blocks, 11 blocks in it. So some blocks within blocks. So it's a little bit more complicated than it looks like, but I'll be explaining it in the actual video in a second. Okay, so let's get back to, let's go back to WeVideo again. And now I'm going to start recording. So I want to be inside my Media tab, which is this one right here. I'll click on it. And inside here, we have the options to record, narrate, or import. We're going to actually record right now. Now, Okay, let's click the button and I'll tell you what happens next. So I'm going to click record. Now it's giving me the option webcam, screen, or screen and webcam. So screen and webcam is really cool because you can use it to record your face and do something a little bit like the broadcast that you're watching right now, where I'm sitting here talking to you, but you're also seeing what's happening on my screen at once. So it's taking two different feeds and it's saving both of them. And I'll show you later on what that looks like once we get back into WeVideo, but it's quite handy. And then but the problem is I can't do it on this particular computer right now because my camera is being used already. It's being used by OBS, my streaming software. You can't use one camera for two different jobs inside Windows. So unfortunately, I can't show you what that looks like. I've already gone ahead and recorded my video though. Let me just show you quickly what screencasting would look like if I grab something here. So let's go, I'm going to click on screen only. I'm going to go next. Now, at this point, it might ask you for permission. It'll ask you what microphone to use. Google Chrome might ask you for permission to use your microphone. It might ask you for permission to use your camera. It might also ask you for permission to save stuff onto your hard drive of your computer. So anything it asks you, say allow. This is very safe software. It's used by millions of people all over the world, so you don't have to be paranoid about something getting downloaded onto your computer. So if it asks you a question to allow something, say allow, okay? I'm just using my default microphone here, and let's just go next. And now it's asking me what I want to record a screen of. So there's a couple of options. Number one is we can choose a different one of the screens. I have two screens on my computer, one horizontal monitor that I've actually tilted on its side, and that's my screen one. That has my whole control panel on it, where I have OBS and Discord and a whole bunch of other software running there. And then screen two is the screen that you're actually watching right now, and so that has WeVideo in it right now. I can also choose to screen an application window, which means one of the programs that I'm running. It's just going to give me a list of all the different programs that I'm running. There's my Discord, there's my Streamlabs, there's my my Chrome browser. Or, since I have a bunch of Chrome tabs running, I could just broadcast what was in a single Chrome tab. So if I go over to this tab here, Chrome tab, I have 7 different Chrome tabs open, and it will let me choose between those ones. So the first one, WeVideo, is the one I want to use. I could just, I'm actually going to be doing a Scratch thing here. So let's go to Scratch. So I've got this Chatty Scratch program up here. I'm going to click on Share now. And now I'm actually recording a video of what I'm doing on the screen here as I drag blocks onto the screen, zoom in, zoom out. It will all be recorded. Notice at the top of my screen, I've got a little thing here that says we're sharing the video with WeVideo, and I can hit stop whenever I want to. So as soon as I'm done recording my video, and you can record more than one little video here, it doesn't matter. You can do it in little bits, or you can do it all at once and edit it later, whatever you like. So let's hit the stop button. Now I'm going to go back to WeVideo again. I'll hit my Control 1 tab. It's asking, so now I can look at my little video. It will all be recorded. Notice at the top of my screen, I've got a little, all right, here, so there you see, I've got my little video. If I don't like it, I can hit record again here, and it'll just bring me right back to the same screen where I can pick everything and make my changes. But I'm happy with this, so let's click on Save. Now we're back into WeVideo. You can see that the new file, if it's longer, yeah, it's downloading. You can see that it's actually grabbing it from the WeVideo, or it's uploading it to the WeVideo server, where we'll be able to start editing with it. All the editing and stuff you're doing in WeVideo is actually happening on a remote server. So everything that you film has to be uploaded to WeVideo, and then you can use it on the screen sharing here. And so you can see that it just dropped it right into the proper area, and now I can use it here. It will all be recorded. Notice that now I could drop text on top of this now, or do anything that I wanted to. I've got one video layer, but of course I can put video layers on top of it. So I could grab this headline called Out With a Puff. That's not going to be very visible because it's white. So let's change the color of it. I will go back and let's make it black and see how that works. Save. So there's my Out With a Puff. Oh, it's not in the right place either. So I can move it by getting back into my double click menu here and just dragging it across the screen here. And there you see. So I can just edit it like any other video, shorten it, trim it, use my scissors on my screen. I've got a little my O with a thing here that says, there you go. Perfect. Okay, so that is how that works. Now, if you recorded your face as well, you'll have that available, and it will, I'm not sure, the last time I did it, it didn't import it right into the timeline like it did here. I'm not sure if I did something wrong that time, but in any case, you'll be able to find all your videos that you recorded with Screencasting over in your My Media tab. So I'm going to go over there right now, and so you can see that today's video, it's 2020-05-05. Oh no, that's the one I shot yesterday. So they're all dated. You can see that there's a date on there. I'm actually not looking at this list properly. I want to get stuff in order of when I filmed it. I have a lot of stuff in my queue right now, so I want to try and filter my list. I haven't shown you guys this function yet, but the 3 buttons at the top here, and they all do something a little different. So this will go back and forth between thumbnails, where you can actually see text, and that's kind of handy sometimes if you're flipping through stuff. This button will go back to our big view. This button here will let you filter it, so I'm only looking at videos, only at photos, only at audio. So I'll look only at videos here, and that will redo my list. And so here is now here at the top is what I actually filmed. So it is in chronological order here. If it's not in chronological order, you can click on this sort media and sort it by name or by date uploaded. So if I wanted the most recent stuff, I would go to date uploaded right here like that. And now I can see the video I just filmed, plus the stuff that I filmed yesterday. So yesterday I filmed this whole tutorial, and it's here in this screen. And I also filmed myself simultaneously. So since I wasn't broadcasting, I was able to use my camera, and I filmed myself in the one screen and what I was working on the other screen. Okay guys, so we're ready to bring our video footage in. Now I shot this stuff yesterday when I had a camera available. So let's go over to WeVideo and see what's happening. Alright, so I've got my footage right here. I'm going to drag it right after my intro video and drop it in there. You'll notice that when we play it, there's no audio attached. That's because the audio is on the webcam footage. So let's grab the webcam footage right here. We'll drop it on top. So when you record stuff with only your screen, then the audio will be attached to your screen. But when you attach it, when you do a webcam footage, then you're also going to be, then the audio track is going to be attached to your green screen footage or to your face cam footage. Okay, so now we have our audio. Time that you talk to him. So we're going to click on him, and he's going to say something. There we go. Now, I'm covering up my screen, so I'm going to try and double click it now. I'm going to go over to my transform settings, and from here, I'm going to change the scale, the size of my footage, just by dragging this slider down like this. Now, I can't crop footage inside WeVideo because they don't have that function enabled yet. I think they're working on it. So if I want to get rid of this microphone on the right-hand side, I'm going to have to drag this right off the screen like that. Now, because I shot it in front of a green screen, I can also get rid of it. So let's go click on this button here called color keying. It's the one with a little person on it. I have to tell it what color is it I'm trying to get rid of. I'm going to click on this little button here. And I'm going to click on the green part of my video, and hopefully it'll get rid of it. Ta-da! So there I am on the bottom of the screen. Beautiful. Okay, so let's save our changes. And so now I have a video of myself at the bottom of the screen talking. Let's run this video and see what's going on here. Time that you talk to him. So we're going to, oh, what happened to the beginning of that video? Is that actually the beginning of the video? Let's drag over the left a little bit here. Huh. So somehow I cut off the beginning of myself talking about this. Is there more on this? No, I'm trying to drag the edge out. Okay, so I made a mistake when I filmed this, but you'll get the idea. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this video for you guys, just so you get a sense of what I filmed here. And since you guys are big fans of Scratch, you might learn something as well. So let's hit the play button, and we'll just sit back and watch it. It's about a 4-minute video. time that you talk to him. So we're going to click on him and he's going to say something random. Let's start with an event. I'm going to go when this sprite clicked.
So notice the screen is a little bit fuzzy when you're looking at stuff in
here. And then I'm going to say,
when you're looking at stuff in WeVideo, it's always low resolution at first, so it takes less bandwidth when it travels back and forth on the internet. But later on, when you render it, it'll be much crisper.
Called random stuff.
That's weird. I'm on the screen twice now.
We've got a variable and a list. Let's have a look at the list by clicking on the check mark right beside it. And you can see there's a whole bunch of weird stuff I've written on the list. I'm not going to let you see it all right now. Okay, so we're going to pick one item from this list and put it into the variable things to say. So all we have to do is set that variable, set things to say, to, now let's pick an item from the list. We want to pick a random item. So I'm going to go to my operators and pick a random number from 1 to however long the list is. We want to pick, so depending on how long the list is, this is going to change. So we're going to say the length of the list here. Let's go back to our list commands. And there's a command down here that says length of random stuff. I'm going to drop that in there. So we're picking, in this case, it's like 24 items. So between 1 and 24. And then once we get that, we need to tell it to grab the information that's under that number we've picked. And so if it's item 1 on the list, it might be hello. So we need to change that number into a hello. It'll look at the list and then compare it. So we're going to go here under item 1 of random stuff. We're going to grab that. We're going to put the random number into it. So it's going to say the random thing. If you want to test it, you can click on it. Let's make this a little smaller. Let's click on it right now and see what it says. Don't talk to me. I'm in a bad mood. So we've got that text now and we're ready to go. I'm going to pop that into the variable. So now when I click this, things to say will now contain that particular object. I can grab the things to say here, and you can see that it has some text in it that it grabbed from the list. Okay, now we just need to add a couple of quick commands to make him say this stuff. So let's go into our looks menu. Let's tell him to move around a little bit. We'll use a next costume command. Then we'll get him to say, I'm going to use the say command without a timer on it because I want him to keep saying it until, we're going to drag that into here. He's going to keep saying it until he's done talking. We're going to use our text-to-speech commands. That's an extra add-on that you can add to Scratch. And we're going to get him to, as well as say those things with the voice balloon, we'll get him to speak it using his text-to-speech commands. And we'll get him to say the same thing. Things to say. And then at the very end, when he's done talking this, we want to blank out the thing that we've said because there's no timer on this say command. So I'm going to go back to looks, and I'll tell him to say blank. And I'll just erase the word hello here. And then he'll say what we need him to say and erase the rest after he's done. Okay, let's maximize our screen. We'll click the green flag, and let's see what happens here. Click. Have you watched Tiger King? I would totally have eaten that dude. Man, it's been 3 years since I blinked. Let's click him again.
Huh.
So, how was your day?
So it looks like some of the screen's cut off, eh? I'm wondering if there's more
odds?
footage there and it's just not visible. We're going to have a look at that in a second.
I'm not allowed to go outside right now. I spelled that
anyway,
wrong.
so
Okay,
you guys get the idea now. I think we're going to cut off the
music
video now.
To it every time you...
And it will fade out at the end. It's not, so we would want to add a fade out at the end of both these clips here. I'm just going to double click on them, and I'll go back to the first to the animation tab here, and I will click fade, and we'll just use the default settings. We'll fade in and fade out with both those clips. And now at the end, it should fade out. That doesn't look like it's fading out, eh? Oh, I went back to the beginning. Anyway, you guys get the idea. Okay, so Priyan's asking, how did I add the face stuff? So as I said before, when I recorded, I did the option to record from my webcam and from my
and from my screen. So now I've got both feeds and both of them show up inside my media list. Now to get rid of the green, I did the color keying. If you don't have a good green screen set up with lots of lighting at home, I wouldn't suggest you try that. So you could also just put your face into a little thing here. One thing that you can do, sometimes you don't want to cover up the screen because there's important stuff happening. So one thing that you can do here, let me trim this video a little bit because I don't want this transition to be too big. So I'm going to show you how you can make your face kind of pop in and out of the screen. So for example, I can start with this video with my face totally off the screen. I'm going to go to my animation tab, which is the third one over here, and there's two important buttons here, start and end. So you want to tell your video where to be at the beginning of the clip and at the end of the clip. And so that's the reason that I cut my video, because I only want him to, I'm going to have him fly into the screen basically from the bottom up to the top. So, or up to this position. So I don't want him to slowly move over the course of the whole video. So I've cut it using my scissors, and now I have two different chunks here. So let's click back on that button again, and we'll go to the, so we need a start position here that's right off the screen. I'm gonna drag this video right down so it's totally off the screen. There we go. So that's my start position. My end position is going to be in this position, and actually remembered where that was, so I don't have to do anything with that. I can play it now and see what that's going to look like.
Time that you talk to him. So we're going to click on him, and he's going to say something
and
random.
I slowly appear on the screen. You can see how that looks a little creepy. So if you're going to do that kind of effect, you want it to happen slowly. You can also just fade in and fade out. I think that looks kind of cool though, but we need to make it shorter. So I am going to undo a couple of steps to bring this video back together again. I don't want to shorten this because anything that I do here is going to kill the dialogue. So I don't want to delete any of this unless I delete it from both clips. The last thing you want to do is get one clip out of sequence with the other one. Otherwise your mouse clicks are not going to match what you're saying on the screen. So be very careful about that, guys. All right, so I want that transition to happen much more quickly. I'm just going to scissor this at a closer, at a shorter distance here. I'm going to click again. Scissors. There we go. Now I've got a little clip that I can animate. Now I don't want this to fade in this case because I'm going to be popping in, so I'll unclick the fade. Let's go back to our animations. I'm going to go start, and I'm going to move my start position off the screen. It already remembers the end position, so we're good to go here. And I can play this now and see what it looks like.
Talk to him.
There we go. That looks better. I might want it to go even faster than that, but that looks kind of cool.
Time that you talk to him. So we're going to click on him, and he's going to say something random.
There we go. That's kind of cool.
Let's start.
Now, a couple more things I want to talk to you about before we go. It looks like our time's running short. But number one is how to zoom in parts of your video. And there's a couple of different ways you can do that, and I wanted to show you guys a couple of tricks for doing that. So I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so if you want to highlight some activity that's happening on your screen, you've got a big fat computer screen there, and sometimes what's happening that's interesting is just in a little corner. If you want your viewers to not be confused, you kind of have to show them where your mouse is on the screen sometimes. There's different ways to do that. I'm going to show you, I think, 3 different ways to do that right now, okay? So let's get to it. All right, so the first way to zoom into your screen is using our editing controls, kind of like what I just did now with my head popping in and out. So let's move to a part of the film where I'm actually clicking and dragging something. So let's say I want to show where this when this right clicked block is, and I want to zoom in on it. So I'm going to find around the right spot on the video. I can play it to be sure that's the right spot, and I already know I'm in the best spot here. I'm going to click on the video. Remember, your scissors tool is going to be grayed out. You're not going to be able to use it until you actually tell it which video you want to snip. So I'm going to click on the bottom video. Now this turns white. I can click my scissors and cut it. Now I only want this to go for a little bit, so my seconds are at the top. Let's go for like 4 seconds. I'm starting at 14 and going till about 18. And I'll snip there as well. So again, I have to click on my video and then click on my scissors. Now I've got a little bit of the video isolated here. and it has to preview it. There we go. Now this is the part where I'm going to zoom into my footage here. So let's go double click on it. Again, we'll get a start position. Our start position is where it is already, right? We don't want to change the size of this. Oh, I just noticed why we didn't see the top of our footage. It's because our scale was actually set to bigger than 1. It automatically resized the video so that it would fit horizontally, but by doing that, we ended up losing the top of our screen. So there are different things you can do here. Like when you're running your video, you could just shrink, have a little black bar at the side of it like that. I'm getting a message from Maya here. Sorry, so I'm out of my stream on Discord. I'm just going to get back into that, and I will start broadcasting again. Go live. All right, we should be up again now. All right, so let me see if I can remember what I was doing here. So we're just resizing the screen. So we can resize this and leave a black bar on the side, or if the important stuff isn't, is at the top of the screen, you could just drag everything down. I'm going to bring this back to 1.36, 1.36, which is apparently exactly enough to fill up the width of the screen. And now, because I want to see what's at the top, but I don't care that much about the bottom, I'll just drag it down a little bit until I can see the top of Scratch's head there. And that should work quite nicely. I still want to see those buttons on the side, so I'm going to play with it. So now all the important parts of the screen are visible here. Okay, so now I should have done that before I set that up, because I've only made the change to this little clip and everything else is messed up in my movie. So the first thing to do is get all of this set up properly, but it's too late for that. So let's just keep going here. So I'm going to show you how to zoom in on that part of the screen. Let's go back here again, double click. So my start position is what it already is, because we're starting with the wide magnification. Then I'm going to click on end, and I'm going to zoom into the part of the screen that I want to see. So I'm just going to drag the slider over until I can find that track. It's a little bit hard to find because, of course, it's fuzzy. So there's when the sprite clicked. I'm just going to click on save now. And so now you'll be able to see. So what was, now this is going to be a little bit messed up because my settings in the original video are off from the first one, but I'll just give you a rough idea of what this is going to look like.
When this sprite clicked.
And you can see I zoom into that.
And I'll grab that here.
Now I could zoom back out again, or I could just add a transition, and that's probably what I'm going to do here. So let's just add a transition from this menu up top here. And I'm just going to do a crossfade, which is just going to get us back to our original one by slowly transitioning from the one to the other one. There we go. So that looks pretty smooth. Let me show that to you in the max screen, actually, because you guys at home probably don't see that very clearly.
And I'll grab that here. And then I'm going to say, we've created a variable here.
So yeah, so it just fades nicely from one thing to another. Okay, so that is working fine. All right, so that's one way to zoom into your footage. The other thing you can do is while you're filming, you can use a magnifier tool. Now, there should be, magnifier tools are used a lot by people with visual impairments. So if you are having a hard time seeing, you're probably using this kind of software a lot to make things bigger on your screen. But ordinary people, I'm sorry, people who aren't disabled, people who are able, are also able to use the software for stuff, especially for screencasting. So I never really used a magnifier much until I started doing this, but it's actually quite handy. So I'm going to show you the Windows one. I can't help you much with the ones for Mac because I haven't really used them before, and I'm pretty sure there's something available for Chromebooks as well that's probably built right in, but again, I haven't used it much because I don't really do a lot of this stuff except when I'm in Windows. So let me show you the Windows magnifier. It's a little tool that looks like this. There are different
types of it, or there's different ways to make this appear, but this looks pretty good right now. So there are a couple of different ways to adjust your views here. If I click on the views menu, there's something called a lens, there's something called docked, and but full screen is the setting that I want. So make sure that it's set for full screen. I don't actually want this on my screen, so I could minimize it or move it off. There's a couple of other settings here in the options menu on the right hand side. So let's click on that and have a look at the options menu. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay. So here's my options menu for the magnifier. One thing I can set here is, so I'm going to be using my scroll wheel on my mouse to change the magnification level. So every time I scroll over one click, how many times is it going to magnify? I can set this to go a little bit at a time, or 100% as the default. So I can have it just go a teeny bit, like 10% at a time, or I can have it go a huge amount, like 400%. 100% the default works pretty well. So basically every time I roll my scroll wheel, now I can't just roll my scroll wheel. Let me close this up again. What I'm actually doing is hitting some keyboard commands that tell the magnifier to work. Even though I'm not in the magnifier app right now, it will work quite nicely. If I have to hold down two keys on my keyboard, I have to hold down the control key with one finger and then the alt key with another finger. So I'm doing that with my left hand. And now I just point my mouse at the part of the screen I want to magnify. Let's see my scissors here. And I'm just going to roll my mouse forward one. And that will zoom it in 100%. And I could do it twice if I wanted to and get it even closer. So every time I roll my scroll wheel, it gets a little bit closer. We're at 500% right now. Let's move. And so when I scroll back out again, that will bring my view back out again. So while you're recording your video, you can zoom in on the parts that you want to show. And that's a really cool way to do things. Another function inside the Windows magnifier is while I'm magnified, let's get the thing off the screen. This is really bothering me. So while I'm zoomed in like this, if I want to just temporarily zoom out and go to a different place, I'm holding down those same two keys, Control and Alt, and then I can hit the space bar on my computer. It will zoom out for a couple of seconds and I can rezoom to a different part of my screen, and then it'll automatically zoom back again. So you can use that to change your view to different parts as different stuff keeps happening inside your screen. So you can always stay inside the zoomed view if you want. And though your left hand is tied up, when I let go, actually, when my left hand lets go, it doesn't unzoom it. So I actually have to unzoom it with my scroll wheel to get it back to the size again. So that's number 2 way to highlight things. Okay, so there's one more way you can highlight stuff, and this is a little Photoshop trick. I've created a couple of things called spotlights, and it's just a giant black document with a little fuzzy hole cut out of the middle of it. This one here, so you'll be able to find this inside the Scratch Tricks shared media folder. This one's called Spotlight Huge, and that's the one you should probably use. I'm going to drag it in. And so it's much larger than it needs to be. I don't have any footage to show underneath it, so I'm just going to grab, I'm in a new project now, by the way. I'm just going to grab this other Scratch footage. And so let's say I want to highlight something that's happening on the screen here. You see, I've created a little porthole here that I can move around the screen using animation. So let's double click on it, and we'll move it to highlight. Now, you see how the edge of it is visible here? To make that invisible, we've got to bring this up and change the size a little bit. So change the size until that edge isn't visible anymore. And now we can move this around to go wherever we want it to go. So in this case, I want it to appear right here. We're going to have it fade in and fade out. So let's go to our animation tab. We'll go edit settings, and yeah, that's good. We'll have it fade in and out. Now I actually don't want the effect to appear that long here, so let's actually snip our footage, and we'll make sure that fade, once you change stuff, the edit settings change. Yeah, we've got down to 0 now, so let's change it back to 1. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like when we fade in and out of that spotlight. So yeah, it'll all be like recorded. That. Notice at the top, it's done. Oh, it didn't fade out. Oh, because I went right back to the other footage, right? So let's get rid of the second one. Make sure our edit settings are right. We'll fade out for 1 second, save our changes.
And let's move this a little bit into the video so that it just appears all of a sudden. Okay, so I'm playing my video.
It will all be
and then
recorded.
I highlight that. Notice that, and then it unhighlights later. I don't think that was very visible. Maybe the video wasn't long enough. Let's make it a few seconds longer. So the end one, fade setting. Yeah, every time you move your video around or resize it, these fade settings get messed up. So be careful about that, guys. All right, let's go back to the beginning of my video, and I'll play it.
It will all be recorded. Notice at the top of my screen.
So you can even move this spotlight around. You could use animation to move it from one side of the screen to the other and highlight different stuff as you're going. So that looks kind of cool if you do that sometimes. Let me show you what that looks like.
I've got a little thing.
Oh, let's go back to the beginning of the video. Play.
It will all be recorded. Notice at the top of my screen.
And you see how the spotlight moves from one spot to the next. Okay, now one last thing I wanted to show you. There are going to be times when you guys don't code as quickly as I do, right? So when you're demonstrating something, you're going to be sitting there saying, what's the next thing I should do? And it's going to be really hard for you to get everything compressed into a tiny little amount. So what I'm going to show you how to do is we're going to speed up the video so that all that boring stuff is cut out. So let's say there's a part in the middle where I'm messing around with the code, and I don't want everyone to see how long it took me to put the code together. So I'll grab a nice big chunk of code here of my video here. In fact, I'll do it to the whole thing. Okay, so you could cut it and isolate a little bit, but I'm actually going to speed up the whole thing. So let's go into here. And I'm going to change the speed of the video. So depending on how much time you spent messing around with your video, you can change the speed different amounts. So this little icon here looks a bit like a speedometer. That's the one that we're interested in. Go into that. And then we're going to change the value here. I'm going to increase it to maybe 4 times speed or 5 times speed. That should be pretty good. And so now when I watch my video, let's... Ooh, I'm still zoomed in here, I think, eh? Because I can't see my whole screen. That's weird. So you see how fast that is? Okay, so now I've messed with my screen settings. I'm at 100%.
Mr. T?
Yes, what's up, dude?
I can't see anything on Discord. I just see blackness.
You see blackness in Discord again. Okay. So, next time let Maya know in the text messages or something so that you don't interrupt my broadcast. But yeah, I see the problem. Every once in a while it looks, oh, I have to maximize my screen. That's the problem. Let me try that again. All right, so that should be better now. All right, can you see now, buddy? It looks like we're good. Are we not broadcasting? Let me just, let's just try that again. Go live. Oh, I'm in general for some reason, eh?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I should be online. I should be I should be on stage. I don't know how I got into a different area here. I'm gonna go back on stage, guys, so join me there. All right, and I'm gonna stop streaming and start streaming on that. Sorry, guys. So Google Chrome, on stage, go live. All right, so it looks like you guys should be able to see now. Is that all good? Can everyone see?
Hold on.
Yes?
Yep, I can see.
Okay, good. Thanks, Jace. Okay, so so now I'm going to mess around with my... so let me just start filming again here. So I've changed the... Oh, so guys, when I'm filming, we can't be interrupting, right, Jace? So this is all going to turn into an edited broadcast later. So you guys talk to me when I'm off the air, and when I'm on the air, we have to keep it quiet. So is there anything you want to say right now before I start the actual film, Jace?
I'm using my voice suppressor right now, which basically uses a software mute and mutes my mic in another program that mutes it in Discord as well.
Yeah, I can. You said you had sound suppression there, but I actually still hear the TV in the background, Jace. So that's kind of so it's not quite 100% effective. There's no way you could remove that completely. I guess it just minimizes it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only when when I talk, I'm pretty sure.
Anyway, no worries. Well, it's kind of cool technology anyway. All right, guys. So no more interruptions. I'm just going to blast through the rest of this video, and then we can talk later. Okay, so I've changed the speed to 5 speed. You're going to notice that my voice is all messed up now in the recording. That's no good. But I'm just going to...
Ow.
Jace, mute your mic, please, buddy. So again, you guys don't talk during the part when I'm doing the broadcast. So there's 2 shows, right? The one where you guys talk to me, and then every once in a while I stop and I get into the show where that's edited for the rest of the world, right? So during those parts, you don't talk, okay? Let's try that one more time, guys. So I've increased my speed to 5 times here, and you'll see that my video is all sped up. That's no good, right? So I actually want to mute this video now. I'm going to go over to the speaker settings at the top here. And I'm going to turn the audio level on this particular clip right down to 0. We're just going to shut it right off. And so now we don't have to hear me going like that. Save changes. And now I can re-record audio on top of it. And the cool thing about this is it's going to make it look like I really know what I'm doing because I'm coding it super fast. And now I can narrate it while I'm recording. So I'm going to use my recorder tool. I'm going to go narrate, which is this button right here under my media. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to maximize my video while I'm recording. And so I'm going to click on the narrate button. Actually, I don't think I'll maximize it. Now I can hit this microphone button. I want to hit this preview while recording a checkbox down here though, because it is going to help me see what my video looks like so that I can describe what's happening on the screen. Now I click the record button and I can actually tell WeVideo what's happening on my scratch screen as I watch it now. And so this will make you look really smart because you'll be coding super quick. You just have to set the speed at the right speed so that you can keep up with what's happening. So let's click the button. And I can't actually see it here because it's all covered up, eh? That's no good. Stop. I wonder how I can... I think my screen settings, yeah, I just have to shrink my screen a little bit so that's visible. I'm gonna go re-record again. Let's try that one more time. This will replace your previous recording, yes. And so now I just drag this one thing across to the other thing. There's nothing actually happening inside this window for me to be teaching right now, of course, so that's a bit of a problem. Anyway, I really want to show you guys this, so I'm just going to go blast through it one more time here. So once I save it, my audio is recorded here. I actually want to get a bit of video that has some footage here so that you can see what it looks like when you're coding really, really quickly. So let me find a spot that has me actually dragging code onto the screen. None of this video. Oh, this is the stuff that I just recorded this morning. This is the footage that I was using for my thing. So I'm going to zoom ahead a little bit to the spot where I actually start to code it. Now I should have been doing this inside my preview window. Let's shrink this video a little bit. Okay, so here we go. So we're dragging when this flag clicked onto the screen. So I'm recording all my audio later. So here's the spot I want to start narrating. Actually, just before I drag this onto the screen, I can go back a couple of steps. Actually, you know, it takes a while before I get into that. Let me just zoom right ahead in this video to where I start building blocks like crazy. Here we go. So let's show this now. So now I'm going to cut my video here, and this is the part where I'm going to start speeding up. So let's go back in, double click on the video, change the speed to 5 times. Oh, I'll go 4 times now. We'll go save. All right, now I can play the video again and then record my narration on top of it. So let's see what the video looks like in the sped up form first. So you're going to see as we start building stuff, you're putting blocks down very, very quickly, and so you look much less hesitant when you're doing stuff. It still looks like I'm coding, right? And so my narration would be something like, I could say, and then we blank out this block, and then let's test it out. And just like that, right? So we would add the video. I'm not going to bother recording now because you guys know how to record. So those are basically all the things that you need to know to make your own little screencast video. So I'm going to challenge all you guys out there, all my viewers, to make me a little Scratch instructional video teaching me how to do stuff. Remember to speak nice and loud and clear into your microphone. Most of the kid-made videos I've seen so far, the audio is just too quiet. So try adding some music to what you're doing, and if you find that you can't hear yourself talking, then you can guarantee your fans at home are not going to be able to hear you as well. So make sure you're nice and loud, and you can also artificially bump up your audio levels right inside here. So if you go to your audio track, you can drag the slider over under audio and make it go to a higher percentage as well. We're at default 100% here, and you can drag that up to make your voice louder. So please make sure your voice is loud enough, and that's really the only advice I have to you. And use my little video intro and send it to me and drop me a message. I'll be looking next week, and hopefully we can show this stuff. And I will be putting any great instructional videos on my website permanently. So if you make a really good video, I'm going to make it part of a special web page that will stay up forever, so that everyone who goes to Chromeworks website from now on will be able to see your little instructional video. So hopefully you guys can make some great stuff for me. I will see you tomorrow. We're going to continue our robot hunter game, which is going really great. It's the hardest, most complicated game we've made so far, but you guys are doing great on it. We're going to